Hello, my name is Russell Myers, independent for U.S. President for 2024. Regarding Maui, my heart goes out to the people of Maui due to wildfires. Many people have lost their homes, their livelihoods. Some people have died. People have been forced to dive into the ocean to escape wildfires. Our this administration, the Biden administration, and the U.S. Congress and the U.S. military have absolutely failed at every turn on this issue. This is unconscionable. In my view, it is unforgivable. What has Biden's response to Maui been? To give the people of Maui $700 one time payment, flat, $700 apiece. $700 in Hawaii is not enough to pay for a hotel room for a week. Meanwhile, he turns around and asks for another $2.4 billion to send to Ukraine. Total commitment to Ukraine now exceeds $200 billion. I pointed out in 2020, while there were crops rotting in fields and warehouses, and meanwhile people were lined up miles long lines of vehicles at food banks. And meanwhile, our military is all over the planet. Our military could have been used to pick up the crops that were sitting in those warehouses and piled up in those fields and deliver them to food banks and food distribution locations. They could have established, they could have delivered these things to people in their homes. Meanwhile, we send another 3,000 troops to Europe right now. Our military does not provide for our security, not for the things that are actually threats to us. Our government doesn't direct our military to do that. Since June, when the deal was reached to suspend the debt ceiling, the government has borrowed over $1 trillion. That's in 2 months. 2 months, $1 trillion. Meanwhile, since we hear that inflation has slowed down, that doesn't mean that prices are declining. Since 2020, when you combine food, energy, transportation, and housing, Americans are spending as much as 30% more than they were in 2019. An increase of 30%. That means a decrease in your real wages of 30%. Wages are not rising at a pace that keeps up with inflation. The real threats that Americans face are feeding their families, keeping the lights on, keeping just housing, keeping a roof over their heads. Racism, sexism, all of this. Why is the government even stepping in and making such a big deal about you know, transgender rights? Why is this such a big issue? This is something that should just be happening organically. It should not be a governmental issue at all. Just allow it to happen. Yes, we need to protect all human rights. But this is a diversion from real issues. Whether you're straight, male, female, transgender, we're all facing many of the same problems. All of us. These are the same issues that we are facing. And yet, do you feel safe? Say, the military is supposed to protect us from all threats, foreign and domestic. Why does that have to be a militaristic threat? Why can't it be wildfires in Maui? Why isn't our military, why are our naval ships over in the South China Sea? Why? Because China's outdoing us on trade. That's why our ships are over there, because China's outdoing us on trade. Okay, well, stop buying from China. Make corporations stop producing things in China. But while our ships are over there in the South China Sea, what they're not doing is rescuing people that are jumping into the ocean to escape wildfires. While our military is in Europe and Taiwan, countries that we have no business in, Syria, Iraq. Iraq told us to leave. Syria, our forces have been there illegally under international law for years now. But they're not here helping our own people to address the actual problems that we face on a daily basis. But we keep on increasing the military budget. We keep on sending more money to Ukraine, Israel, all these other countries, while our infrastructure collapses. While the only jobs being created are part-time, low-wage jobs. Now, people are facing a crisis because of student loans. If we took the $200 billion that we've sent to Ukraine, we could apply that instead toward paying off, 20%? Well, maybe about 15% of student loans. The average student loan debt is $400 a month. So if you took that, paid off those student loans, then the people that owe that would be able to spend that money in the economy. Instead, what we're seeing is a contraction in consumer spending. And how about back to Maui? Is $700 going to replace these people's homes, their businesses? Is it going to help them bury their loved ones that died in these fires? Is it going to pay medical bills for people that have been injured from these fires? We could have our military over there fighting these fires. Nope, not going to happen. Send them over to Europe. Send them to the South China Sea. This is a failure. At all costs. This is a failure of this administration and our Congress and our military. On all fronts, this is a failure. We can do better as a nation. Is somebody waiting for Wall Street to decide to fight the fires in Maui? We're bailing out banks that are failing because they took on risky debt. That's a whole different issue. But we can help our own people. We should be helping our own people. We should be building infrastructure. We should be fighting fires to protect people. We should be rescuing people that are victims of natural disasters like this. But no, let's keep on fighting a failing war in Ukraine. Let's keep stealing resources from Syria and Iraq. Let's get ready for a war with China. Let's keep spending more on our military. No, I'm against all of that. I am for spending more money on our own people, which would provide actual living wage jobs, rebuild our infrastructure, save our people from fires, from floods. Again, my heart goes out to the people in Maui. Unfortunately for our president and our Congress, it's only a talking point. $700. That's it. That is a failure. Share this video. Talk about these subjects. If you can afford it, please donate whatever you can to help expand this campaign, because I am fighting for you, for the American people at all levels. Well, except for the very top, who doesn't need anybody fighting for them. So help me in any way you can. Just sharing these videos helps to expand this campaign, expand awareness of it. Subscribe to my channel if you're not. And thank you for watching. I hope you have a good day.